Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar on updates and new features with kvCORE, hosted by Inside Real Estate Success Coach, Aubin Dubois. Before we begin, I want to let you know that Allison James Estates and Homes is a nationwide brokerage which offers 100% commission, 100% support, and zero franchise fees. Why split your commission if you don't need to? You earned it all, so shouldn't you keep it all? Our goal at Allison James is to always give back to our agents by providing education, training sessions, live webinars, live events, and full brokerage support with the most up-to-date tools and technology available. We are always looking for new tools and ways to be able to provide them to our agents at a lower or discounted price so you can keep your hard-earned money. Today's webinar is sponsored by Movement Mortgage, which is our preferred lender. And for more information about Allison James Estates and Homes, please visit us at www.ajicareers.com. Let's go ahead and get started with today's topic. If you have any questions throughout today's presentation, please submit your questions into the chat box on your Zoom control panel. I will now pass it over to our speaker today, Aubin. Good morning, Aubin.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to talk to you guys today about kvCORE and some of the exciting updates that we have recently kind of released onto our platform. Let me grab my screen and share it out with you guys. All right, so for a quick agenda today, we are going to be talking about Playbooks. Number one, I think that is one of the most exciting updates and best features that we've come out with in quite some time. I think for those of you who may have seen kvCORE or heard of kvCORE, and maybe you're thinking, wow, there's a lot, I'm a little confused, what do I do? Playbooks are definitely going to be the answer for you. Then we're going to jump over to talk about a leads profile and the changes that we've actually made there. I think there's some great updates to show you guys, make things a little bit easier to see, find, and connect with your leads and your prospects. Then we're going to head over and talk about listing labels. So for those of you that still like to do some snail mail, send out some mailers out there. We have made it a lot easier to get you guys to get some print labels out for those postcards, for those mailers out to your sphere, your contacts, clients, everybody that you need to send something out to. And then we're going to wrap up talking about a paid for feature. Actually pretty cool though. It's really related all about branding you. Branding your face, your brokerage, helping you guys win more listings in your targeted zip codes. So helping you guys own a zip code with our tool called Nosy Neighbor. Okay, so let's jump in. Like I said, Playbooks, we're going to start out with right here. So I have just logged into my demo account in kvCORE, and right here on the front page in the middle is Playbooks. This is the easiest, probably fastest way to get there. You also have Playbooks over on the far left-hand side, but I'm just going to jump in right here where I want to promote a new listing. So basically what this means is when I log into kvCORE, I want to promote a listing today. Maybe I've just won a listing. Maybe I want to just generate more interest, and one of my colleagues has generously given me the approval to promote one of their listings. So I can come in here and I can start a new playbook to promote a listing. Or maybe I've already done one and I can revisit or continue a playbook that I haven't quite wrapped up. So I want to start a new playbook, show you guys kind of A to Z what to do here. So because in my demo account, I don't have any listings, it's going to give me options of where I belong and what offices I can choose from. So let's do this really cute house in Orangetown. I am going to click Start Promoting once I have found the property I'd like to promote. So we're going to go through 3 different categories of promoting this particular property. First, we want to announce our listings. So we want to first announce it to agents in our area. Maybe it's in our office, maybe it's on our team, or a specific user within Allison James that you guys can promote this out to. Maybe they have a buyer that's interested in your property. Maybe they work that niche market that your listing happens to fall into. All you need to do is drop down, choose the office, the team, or a specific user to send and notify that agent about. Now you can also choose the template of how you're going to message that agent. I love this new email template that we've created. It's the default. You don't have to do anything. So you can see a new listing announcement. We're going to automatically pull in the listing address, automatically pull in the main photo of that listing, and then give some basic details: the price, the beds, the baths, the square feet, with then options to actually go view the listing on the website and help them find matching buyers within their kvCORE database. Now, at the top, you can either choose to send the email to your fellow Allison James agents, or if you're like, nope, I don't want to do that today, you can skip the play. Our next way to announce our listing is by contacting matching buyers. So kvCORE has taken things to the next level, in my opinion anyways, and it's basically saying, hey, based on your smart CRM, right, where all of your contacts are, we have found a smart list or a specific targeted list of people who might be interested in that listing. It's based on the price, the beds and bath count, and the area. And so kvCORE can either automatically pull a smart list, or if you have a custom list in mind that you have maybe saved a filter for, or have a hashtag for, you guys can automatically choose your custom list to contact those potential buyers. Now, again, we have default templates to send out to those potential matching buyers. We've got a quick text message that just says, hey, I've got a new listing that matches your search criteria. Click here to check it out, with a link back to your website where they can view the property. Or you can schedule an email out to that contact. And this email might look pretty familiar from the one that we were going to send to the matching agents. This is now very similar, going out to potential contacts and potential buyers. Now, again, if you want to send and schedule, just do so from right here at the top, this green button. If not, you can always skip the play. Now, I think this one's pretty handy because a lot of the time we forget about custom text codes inside of kvCORE. There's so much that we've got going on that this is a really great reminder of, hey, you've got this custom text code and kvCORE has already created it for you based on the address of the home. And then we're going to say, hey, we recommend you use these custom text codes in these certain places to generate more interest, generate more buyers, and kind of use like a sign writer or things like that to get interest in your property. Now, if you don't love the particular text code, maybe you want to make it more texting friendly, you can always edit the settings. But again, it's not required. It will automatically pull a text code for you. So I'm going to save those changes, and we're going to drop to our second section of leveraging social media to promote your listing. So hopefully many of you, if not all of you, have heard and have used our Property Boost tool inside the marketplace of kvCORE. Property Boost is an awesome way to generate interest for your listings. Basically, what we're doing is we have created a very specific algorithm that helps you guys get the most interest for the least amount of cost per lead possible, to get a really solid group of interested buyers and hopefully sellers coming in off of ads for your own listings. So Property Boost is great. Again, it's an automated paid for lead gen option based on your own listings. We're touting about 90% accuracy of name, email, and phone contact info, which is huge. We all love a solid cell phone and an email address to get a hold of contacts. Now, you can choose to boost your property right from here. Again, boost now. Or if you don't have, the funds, maybe you just want to do our free or paid, or our free options, excuse me, you can always skip the play and it'll take you right to our squeeze pages, our landing pages, and Craigslist options. So gone are the days of you guys having to go into the lead engine of kvCORE and create your own squeeze and landing pages. With these playbooks, they're automatically created for you. All you have to do is click post, 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 and you're gone off to 3 different social media platforms. Again, if you're not loving the actual settings or you just want to make sure that things look right, you can always click the edit settings button. And this page is like a miniature version of the squeeze page builder. And then also landing pages. This one I think is incredible. Landing pages can be pretty confusing to build, but because it's already created for you, all you have to do is, again, post, post, post. We've auto created a hashtag for you. So you have an easier way to track those contacts that come in looking off of that landing page. Now, I do want to show you this landing page just because I think it's awesome. It's custom for a just listed property or a property that you'd like to promote. Again, we've got the primary image in the background, the address, some highlighted pictures, the description that you've entered into the MLS. And then we're prompting people for their email and their phone number to see the price and additional pictures of this property. Now, we also do an auto post feature to Craigslist as long as you have our kvCORE Chrome extension. We give you instructions right here if you don't have that quite yet. But if you do, all it takes is a quick post to Craigslist, maybe 1 or 2 clicks, and you've got that listing out on Craigslist. Then we also have virtual tour options. I know in many states right now, just due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we're still not quite open for full open houses or for in-person tours. So we do have a virtual tour option that you can promote as well. Now, our last little section over here is how to follow up and communicate with those leads that you have generated. Now, importantly though, is generating the seller report email. Hopefully your seller is added into your kvCORE platform so you can follow up with them as easily as possible. And actually kvCORE will automate the follow-up for you. We are going to send your seller everything that you're doing. So letting them know that you're doing ads, letting them know how many views and impressions and clicks their property has. Again, so you are staying in great communication with your seller, but kvCORE is really just automating it for you to help you guys out. Now I'm going to skip that play, and the follow-up with the leads actually is activating a smart campaign. Many of you guys have a campaign chosen that you would like for maybe a new lead buyer. If not, you can always use our default campaign, and it will plop that in right here. And as you can see, as I chose that, it'll pop us back up to the top, the play that we haven't completed quite yet. You can kind of see it kind of goes through the process. But as I go through at the top here, I've got my Playbook results, so I can always check the data, see the plays that I've done, the ones that I haven't. Check the results on the right-hand side for the contacts that match this particular property, and the agents that I've sent this listing out to for them to be notified and follow up with those particular agents if they have any interested buyers. And then if at any time you want to come back and maybe just copy the squeeze page or landing page, or what was that smart campaign that I chose, you can come to the quick sheet section and see all of the links and see all the communications that you have sent for this particular playbook. Hopefully you guys are excited as I am. It's such a big change, I think, for us, and much needed ease of use tool. So hopefully you guys, the next time you get a listing or a new listing, or maybe you have one now, feel free to pop into these playbooks, test it out on your own, and see what kind of interest you generate for your buyers. Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit, and I'm going to go to the Smart CRM over here on the left-hand side of kvCORE. You'll see this page looks mostly the same, but when I click into a contact here, and let me click on my contact Viv, you can see this page does look a little bit different than it used to. I think there's been some great updates, but I wanted to point out a few places where things have changed so you guys can easily jump in and kind of jump in here without skipping a beat. The first big change I like to point out is this client journey. I think this makes it a lot easier and a lot clearer of what you need to do to get your prospect. Really, we want them in a closed status. So if you ever need to change them from a prospect, maybe they're now active, they're working with you, they're talking with you about potentially buying or selling a property, all you have to do is click on the next status that you want to move them to. And you can see that updated my status, a note was automatically added. And you can see as I follow my client through their journey of real estate. Now, I also want to point out the contact information. Now, the majority and the most popular information is going to remain right here on the upper left-hand side, but it's no longer where you can kind of scroll down and see all of the information. You actually will come up here to the very top where it says profile details. Now, these profile details, I think, is a good change because now when you click edit details, you can edit as many things as you want and press save without needing to press save on every single change that you make. So you guys can come in here, add their home preferences, any contact info, spouse info, any call or texting options. Do you want to automatically have kvCORE send an anniversary email or text? And then I think very importantly to my third point is this address label. So if you guys want to use our print label option, you have to make sure their address is in this address label line. You can kind of see the info box here, but this will replace their name, and then you want to add the address below. But make sure that their address is added inside their profile details for that to appear when you print. And I'll show you where to go to print in just a few seconds. So once you've saved and updated their profile details, most of this stuff should be in the same spot as it was before. Any actions on the right-hand side, you can see if they're subscribed to emails, texts, or maybe just emails in this particular case. You can see any property alerts, drip campaigns, market reports, any seller reports, remember from our playbook. And if you ever need to, you can always go up to the top and look at alerts, any files, any transactions, or any tasks that are assigned to this particular contact. Now, for those print labels, I can go in here and I can use my filters, right? So I can filter out by certain contact statuses, any hashtags, or any sources that I want to pull. And then all I need to do is in the middle of my page where it says more actions, I have print address labels down here at the bottom. Now you do have to select. So I used to choose this little box at the very top here, where it will select up to 250 contacts at one time. And then again, more actions, print address labels, and I can export that to an Avery 5160 label. So again, currently this is working for Avery 5160. You have to add their address and their address label line in their profile details for you to be able to print these out. You can do up to 250 at one time. I'm just over in the far right-hand side, and I can just select 250. If I need to do more than that, you will have to do it in separate exports. I'm not seeing any questions yet, so hopefully things are making sense and these are good, exciting changes for you guys. But I want to keep going and chat through Nosy Neighbor. Now down here on the left-hand side in our marketplace, we have a lot of different options for you guys. This is where you can go to purchase additional tools, additional features that might fit your unique needs best. So again, you'll see things like core property boost, maybe a vanity domain, maybe some leads that you want to generate, right? So get more leads. You can kind of see all of our options here as well. And at the bottom of that, we have Nosy Neighbor. So Nosy Neighbor is a great farming tool specifically for you and your brand. Basically, you will own a zip code, and based on certain actions or activities, maybe we want to call them events, right? So when a house in that zip code that you have kind of purchased has either just listed or just sold or things like that, we are going to target certain people based on thousands of data points. We are going to target them with manual postcards, so snail mail. We're also going to kind of reach out to them with digital farming tools, such as Facebook and Google and things like that, where we're going to kind of send them little messages saying, hey, your neighbor down the street just sold. Interested on hearing how much you could get your home sold for. And again, we'll have your picture, your brokerage name, a QR code for people to get generated out to you. That way, anytime, again, these events happen in one particular zip code or multiple, if you want to purchase multiple zip codes, you guys can own that zip code. You can be the face for that zip code. Now, I don't like to think of it as a lead generation tool, although that is what it can do. It's really more to build your brand with automated farming, right? With those postcards, those digital advertising, just making sure that when an event happens in that zip code, you stay top of mind for neighbors, around those certain events. Now, as I click on that, you can kind of watch looks like a 13-minute video that gives you a lot more information there. Or you can always just say, hey, I'm interested if my zip code is available, right? It's exclusive zip codes for one individual only. So I'm over here in Utah, a popular zip code. I'll just kind of check, but I can check availability. And it looks like zip code is available, and you can kind of see the average real estate trends for the last 30 days before you want to jump in and make that purchase. Now, it is $7.49 per month. It is a 12-month term, so a full 1 year. And at the end of that 1 year, you will be asked if you want to renew or if you want to, stop, and we can give somebody else that's waiting for that zip code a chance to purchase it. Again, these are exclusive, so you would be the only one with Nosy Neighbor that owns a certain zip code. We send out up to 300 targeted postcards per month. We do digital ads on Facebook and Google. And then you can use our Nosy Neighbor app that does automatic follow-ups for you guys. So it's different from a drip campaign because we know these people aren't necessarily super interested in, selling or buying right away. But it does send out messages. It gives you the options to call. And when you're ready, it can sync those contacts into kvCORE. So that way you can put them on drip campaigns. You can follow up. You can document the notes and all the good stuff that kvCORE has inside of it. Eloise is asking about 33317. Let's check, Eloise. Unfortunately, that one is unavailable. But if you want to try, a couple others around you that may be available, you can always jump to nosyneighbor.com and purchase that. You can also go to your kvCORE platform, jump to either the search bar in the upper right-hand corner or leads up at the top. And you guys can always jump to the nosyneighbor.com platform, checking your availability for your zip codes here as well. Deborah's got one more. I'll check one more for you, Deborah. 2694. Unfortunately, that one is unavailable as well, but you guys can mess around with, the availability out here. And again, you can still see the stats of what's happening in those particular areas that you guys might be interested in. All right. I wanted to leave plenty of time for questions. I know we kind of wrapped up early and quick. I can always talk about additional features that have come out as well that may be helpful, but I want to make sure to give time for any questions about Playbooks, about the new lead profile pages, about how to use the print label options inside of the Smart CRM, and how to purchase or how to learn more information about Nosy Neighbor. I'll give it a minute, and if I don't hear from you guys, maybe I'll take 5-10 more minutes and talk about a couple of other features that we have come out with recently as well. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. So I'm actually really excited to share this update with you guys in the marketing section of kvCORE. Now, these pages might look a little bit different. My advice to you is when you're in these different pages, don't forget to check the upper right-hand corner. We've got some of our small features up here at the top where you guys can check those. But I want to talk to you guys about our smart campaigns over here in the right-hand side. Now, hopefully you guys are using smart campaigns. Hopefully you've started or tried to edit and customize, personalize, throw in some Giphies and things like that on your smart campaign messages. But I'm really excited to announce that we have released date-based campaigns. So what that means is if you guys want a campaign to kick off on a certain date, maybe January 1st, you're going to take, the last couple months of the year and you're going to gear up for a January 1st campaign. And it's going to be all the holidays, all of the events like spring forward, fall back. Don't forget to change your air filters, things like that you guys can do. You can now do it on a specific date. So let me start over. I got ahead of myself here, but you guys can go in your kvCORE platform, went to marketing, went to smart campaigns. Now, when I'm in my campaigns, there's this add campaign button right here. When I do that, my campaign scope, yep, that's for me, perfect. And so what I want to do is, when do I want to start my campaign? So the new option right here is when a specific date occurs. So as I click that, what's my date type? Well, the cool thing is you can also do it based on a birthday or a purchase anniversary. So you guys can build these campaigns that, again, kick off every year for their birthday or every year on a purchase anniversary. And so that way you guys can have a whole personalized campaign running for your contacts. Now, I think the best part about this is, let's say birthday, and you guys like to partner maybe with Lolo or maybe with your local flower shop or something like that, and you want to make sure to get their birthday gift ordered ahead of time. So you guys can always do it a birthday before, and you can say, hey, I want this thing to run 5 days before the actual birthday so I can get things prepped and ready beforehand. I can write my personalized card and remember to drop it off. Whatever the situation calls for, you can do before or after the certain date as well. And then I think the coolest thing is you can do an optional qualifier. Okay, well, do they have a certain hashtag or not? Are they under a certain status or not? Maybe we don't want to send to our sphere or to our prospects. Maybe a certain source or a system source is or is not. So you guys can get very picky or very general with your date-based campaigns. Now, again, if you just want a specific date, you can choose on the date. Choose my start date. Again, let's just say I want it to be, let's get to January here, right? January 1st is when I want this to kick off. And you can say I want it to run annually. So again, this can be a forever campaign that's for holidays, events, things that happen on specific dates throughout the year. Now, after you do that, the same process is kind of as normal. You just choose the campaign desired for. So who is it for? Probably everybody, right? You can name your campaign, give it a little description, review it, and then add it to your kvCORE platform. Now, I don't think I have one set, but really the best part is once you guys have gone in here, build your campaign, you can then start creating the templates. So you can start creating the emails, the text messages, the phone call templates or scripts that you want to remind yourself of. That's all possible in the marketing smart campaigns, and then date-based campaigns is a really fun addition that we've made to kvCORE. And I think I'll end with a website update, if you guys don't mind. Me just keep rambling about kvCORE. I can do it all day. But inside our web and IDX section, I'm on my website up here at the top. You can kind of check that. And then what I want to show you is in this edit settings section. We have created different home page widget layouts. Now, I know that's a lot of words that may not mean a whole lot to you, but basically we have created templates for your websites to give them a little bit of a facelift, give them a little bit of a new modern design, maybe more of a traditional design, whatever you guys would like to go with. But you can see some different examples of what we've created and what you guys can use. So my assumption here is that most of you are probably on this standard centered option. Great option. It's, gives people a quick access to look at properties. But then you'll see in the middle, we've got a modern option now with different tiles that folks can click on. We have a luxury option where it's just a little more white space. And then on the far right-hand side, we have a modern side-by-side option with pictures as well as text next to it. And as you kind of scroll down, you can see we've got a bunch of different options for people to click in. So I think this is a really fun update, just gives you guys a little bit of a facelift for your personal website with kvCORE and Allison James. And then you can also choose a particular primary color now. So if you remember, most of you that have used kvCORE in the past, you kind of chose from a drop down of set colors. You can now choose a custom color, and you can go anywhere on here to make sure it matches your brand, your logo, your colors perfectly. So your website is a true reflection of you and your real estate brand. Fun updates. I think playing with websites and giving it a little update and maybe a little color change here and there, maybe some new background images is always fun, keeps people coming back to your website. And always fun to get feedback from potential clients, from past clients, to keep the conversation moving, keep you at the top of their mind for all of their real estate needs. I haven't seen any other questions come through. We covered quite a lot today in a short amount of time, but I do want to make sure that if you guys do have any questions, any feedback, any thoughts, I'd love to hear about it. And even if you come back later on, would still love to hear the feedback if you guys want to make those changes over the next couple of weeks. I want to give it a minute, make sure I don't cut anybody off. Yeah, thanks, Deborah, so much for attending. Hopefully we can find a zip code that fits your need for Nosy Neighbor. Thanks, John. I appreciate you. Awesome. Well, thank you, Allison James, and all of you attendees out there for having me on today. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the kind comments. And Carolyn, a great question before I end our call today. Carolyn has asked, hey, do we have anybody in our company who can help in learning all of this? Now, I know Allison James has a great training team to support you guys. But if you're not comfortable, maybe you're not signed with Allison James quite yet, in the kvCORE marketplace, we do have options for you. We have one-on-one coaching available. We have a mastermind group for you guys as well to join training calls, things like that. So in our marketplace, let me scroll down. I always get to play the guessing game of finding it. I should just use my search bar. But here we have oh, not there quite yet. There we go. A core one-on-one coaching session. So you guys can have some time with a kvCORE expert, help them, get you familiar, get up to speed with some of this stuff. We also have a next level mastermind group, which is coaching and resources for specific members. It's a paid for group to join. So you guys can, go there as well. But if you're like, honestly, I don't have the time, I don't even want to try to set up my kvCORE account. We do have a kvCORE setup service for you guys. We'll do the basic system configuration and host a kickoff session with you explaining what we did and your next steps with the kvCORE system. Hopefully that's helpful, Carolyn. Again, Allison James or in the kvCORE marketplace, we have lots of options for you guys. We also have a kvCORE Facebook group. It's really more like a community of kvCORE users. I believe it's called the IRE Success Strategies Facebook group. You guys can join there, ask questions, get help, maybe provide your own tips that you guys have learned over the years. It's a really good community. A few of our engineers and kvCORE experts pop in and out every now and then, but it's really just run by kvCORE users like yourselves. Awesome. Well, thank you guys again. I really appreciate the time. Hopefully these updates are exciting to you as they are to me. Maybe I'm a little bit of a techie nerd, but I think this is awesome. And it's really going to make a difference in ease of use, getting your real estate business either off the ground or to a even more profitable growth for 2021 and on.
And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And a huge thank you to you, Aubin, for hosting this month's webinar and giving us such a great presentation. Have a great day, everyone, and we hope to see you next time.